Hello students, my name is Bilal BS. Today we are going to study independent directors. Section 149 subsection 4 of the Companies Act 2013. Independent directors. Independent directors. The question can be asked in the examination. I will give the sum of the question asked in the examination, so you can understand what kind of question can be asked. X Limited is an unlisted public company, has a paid up capital of 20 crore, turnover of 150 crore, total number of directors are 13, minimum independent director how much? This is asked in the examination. So in case of unlisted, what is the minimum independent director? If it is a listed company, what is the minimum independent director? This kind of question can be asked for 4 marks. Another question asked in the examination by the ICI. There is a public company having paid up capital of 10 crore, paid up capital of 2 crore. This is a scenario, case number 1. Case 2, case 3, if a key managerial person become independent director? In the case 1 and case 2, how much the minimum independent director required? This kind of question asked in the examination. Another question, X appointed as an independent director, but with his relative, he and his relative have 3% voting power. Can he appointed as an independent director? One more question, Azad is an independent director, appointed for 3 years first tenure, reappointed for another 5 years in second tenure, but he total comes up to 8 years, but he can he appoint for more, can he appoint for one more 2 year, making 10 years? So this kind of questions asked. That means this will be the third tenure. Can he appointed as an independent director? One more question asked in the examination, XY is a unlisted company having paid up capital of 20 crore, turnover of 150 crore, number of directors 13. What is the minimum independent director? Continuous 3 years there is a no condition followed. There is a condition specified under section 149(4) for the requirement to fulfill the class or classes of companies. If that condition is not fulfilled for a continuous 3 years, what will be the case? What will the consequence in that case? Third question, if XYZ is a dormant company, what is the law? What is the provision in that case with regards to independent directors? These kind of questions asked in the examination. One more time, this is with regard to tenure. For first tenure, he appointed for 1 year. Second tenure, he appointed for 2 years. Can he appoint for third tenure, making 5 years? Can he appointed as a, in the case of unlisted company? This kind of question asked in the examination. We'll see this question also, but we will move on slowly, basically, one by one. After one by one, we will study what is the independent director, what is the minimum number of independent director, what is his tenure, who can be independent director. We'll see one by one. So firstly, section 149(4) says every listed company shall have the at least one third of the total number of directors as an independent director. Section 149 subsection 4, in case of a listed company, at least one third, at least one third of the total number of the directors as an independent director. CG may prescribe minimum number, but that we'll see later on as per prescription. But every listed public company should have at least one third of total number of directors as independent director. And the for unlisted public company or according to rule 4, the company's rules 2014, the class or classes of companies shall have at least two directors as independent directors as per rule 4. This is section 149 subsection 4. This is a rule 4 of the company's rules 2014, appointment and qualification of directors rules. Following the class or classes of companies should have at least two directors. So condition number 1, the public company is having paid up capital of 10 crores or more, paid up capital of 10 crores or more. Or condition number 2, public company is having turnover of 100 crores rupees or more. Public company having, these are public company, okay, public company having turnover of 100 crores or more. Or third point, public company is having which have in aggregate outstanding loans, debentures, deposits exceeding, here there is no is equal to, only exceeding 50 crores or more. Or more will not be there, because exceeding means exceeding. 50 crores will not be applicable. 50 crores plus 1, that will be applicable. So if any of the one condition is satisfied for a unlisted public company, at least two directors to be appointed as independent directors. In case of, if there is a audit committee is there, audit committee is applicable to form the audit committee, then as per audit committee, section 177, minimum 3 directors should be the independent minimum 3 directors plus forming majority. Okay, this is very important. This might be asked in the question November 19 or May 2020. This may ask in this examination. Audit committee should have at least minimum 3 directors independent forming majority. For example, if a company have audit committee audit committee is there, requirement of audit committee is there, then 6 directors in the audit committee, 6 majority is 4, correct? 3 cannot be the majority, so 4. So at least here, at least 4 directors should be the independent director, not 3. Forming majority. One more time. In case of a listed company, 1/3. In case of a other than listed company, public company having paid up capital of 10 crores or more, at least 2 director, or having turnover of 100 crores or more, at least 2 directors, having outstanding loan of debenture deposit exceeding 50 crores, should have at least 2 directors. So I asked first question. One question asked, here X company limited is unlisted public company having paid up capital of 20 and crores. So this is as per rule 4, first condition, it satisfies more than 10 crores. Here more than 100 crores. Point number 2 also satisfied. Any one case satisfied, at least 2 directors required. So in this case, minimum 2 directors. In case of a listed company, at least 1/3. Okay, what if 1/3 comes points? Any point should be rounded off to 1. Okay, rounded off to 1. Even if it comes as a 0.33 also, it should be rounded off to 1. Here 13 are there. If in the case of listed company, 1/3. What is the answer? What is the answer? Is it a 4 or a 5? So it should be rounded off to 5, even if it comes to 4.33. So 4.33 is equal to 5, rounded off to 5. So minimum independent director in the case of listed company is 5. So next question, we can deal with these 2 questions. Public limited company having paid up capital of 10 crores or more. So as per rule 4, first condition satisfies. So at least 2 should be the minimum, at least 2 should be the independent directors. However, in the case of if the audit committee is there, minimum 3 forming majority. Okay, this should be mentioned. Should be the independent director. We don't know what is the. We have to apply the section 177 conditions of the section 177. So if there is a audit committee is there, forming majority, minimum 3 director should be appointed as a independent director. Here paid up capital 2, unlisted public company paid up capital is true. So rule 4 is not satisfied. Three conditions: we don't know the turnover, we don't know the outstanding debentures, loans, deposits, we only know paid up capital, so it is not satisfy the condition, so no need of independent director in the case of this one. We'll see this next as we see the provision later on. So we studied section 149 subsection 4, listed. In the case of listed company, 1/3 should be the minimum directors, rounded off to 1. Rule 4 we studied. In case of audit committee also we studied. So we will move on to next. So if there is a continuous 3 years, if none of the mentioned conditions satisfy, then they need not appoint independent director. That comes up under non-applicability of independent directors for a period of continuous 3 years. And also for a wholly owned subsidiary, joint ventures, dormant company also, independent director will not be applicable. So one more time, for a period of 3 continuous year, if the none of the condition satisfied, then they need not appoint independent director. In case of wholly owned subsidiary or a joint venture or a dormant company also, independent director will not be applicable. This is the section 149 subsection 4 and rule 4. Then who can be independent director? Independent director can be an independent director in relation to company means director other than the managing director, or a WTD, whole time director, or a nominee director. You should have a certain qualifications, certain characteristics. Point number 1 is, in the opinion of the board, you should have a person of integrity, possess expertise and experience, who is not a promoter or was not a promoter of any company. Any company means holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, who is not related to promoters, directors in the company, its holding and subsidiary or associate company. In case of a pecuniary relationship for an individual who has or had no pecuniary relationship other than the remuneration, okay, can have remuneration, but you should know other than the any remuneration, any monetary benefit. In case of pecuniary relationship with the for a relative of the individual, you can hold securities or interest up to rupees 50 lakhs or 2% of the paid up capital, up to rupees 50 lakhs or 2% of paid up capital. Can hold security paid up capital. So more than this, it cannot be become independent directors. Indebtedness also, as may be prescribed in the whatever the prescribed amount is there, that is not prescribed till now, So if you read the law, whatever the prescribed amount is there, if the amount is more than that indebtedness, he cannot be independent director. For guarantee also same thing. For any other transaction, it should not be more than the 2% of the gross turnover or total income. Total income. Should not be more than the 2% or more of what? Gross turnover or total income. Of 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 what? Subsidiary or any holding or associate, whatever. So this is very important. This may ask in the examination. Is a relative holding rupees of more than 50 lakh or 2% or more than 2% capital, he cannot become independent director. And also neither himself nor his relative should hold the key managerial personnel, or has been the employee of the company or its holding subsidiary associate company of in 3 financial years immediately preceding the financial year in which he is appointed. Okay, 3 financial year, he cannot be the key managerial person. Immediately preceding the financial year, 3 financial year immediately preceding the financial year. This is also very important. This may ask in the examination. Next we will move on to what is the remuneration. Sitting fee. You can take sitting fee or a reimbursement of expenses for participation in the board and other meetings. And the profit related commission, it should be approved, okay, by the member. Should be approved by the member. Members in general meeting. So other than these 3, no amount should be given to independent director. Sitting fee, reimbursement of expenses, profit related commission. We will move on to tenure. It can be 5 years, up to 5 years, consecutive years on the board of directors. Consecutive 5 years, very important. Consecutive 5 years for 5 years. 2 terms can be consecutive. That means 5 years continuous plus 5 years continuous, 10 years can be. Here 1 year first term and 1 more year here second term, also 1 year appointed, here also 1 year appointed, 2 years only. Cannot be appointed for next year unless there is a cooling period of 3 years. So re-eligibility of the reappointment on passing special resolution by the company, but no independent director shall hold office for more than 2 consecutive terms without having a cooling period of 3 years. So 3 years should be cooling period in the sense no appointment or reappointment. After that they can appoint for, so first term, second term, cooling period of 3 years, then they can appoint again and again, but this should be the consecutive 5 years. They cannot appoint 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, no, consecutive 5 years like that. So this is the tenure. This can be asked in the question in the examination. What is the liability of the independent director? It shall be held liable only in respect of acts of omission or commission by the company which had occurred with his knowledge. It should be his knowledge, and consent also should be there. Then only he is liable to punishment. What about the casual vacancy? Casual vacancy is same as women director. It should be filled within 3 months or next board meeting, whichever is later. So we will move on to what is the question asked in the examination. This is done. Whether key manager person can be independent director. Key managerial person, no, he cannot be independent director. So he will not become the independent director if he is key managerial person.